What's going on? Looks like Kevin Smith has been tossed by Phil Cuzzy. Brad Ausmus trying to get between them. And Phil Cuzzy strikes zone obviously has really upset both teams tonight. Whether it's Craig Counsell or Thames, it didn't matter. There's been a lot of guys that have questioned Phil Cuzzy's strike zone, so Jonathan Lucroy is going to have to throw the gear on. First career ejection for Kevin Smith.
Than anything else. And he's down looking on strikes for the first out. 5 strikeouts for Matz. He's not happy with Mark Carlson. I think more about strike 2 than anything else.
Fastball, fastball, fastball.
Oh, somebody got thrown out. That was Bryce Harper, I think, that got thrown out of the ball game. Unless it's Gabe. Nope, it was Bryce, because here comes Bryce Harper. Dusty Watkins coming here as well. This is the most heated I think we've ever seen Gabe. All right, so we know Bryce. We're assuming Bryce has been thrown out. I don't know how Gabe wasn't thrown out too after that. That's good though.
That was an 86-mile-an-hour pitch.
What?
That is an 86-mile-an-hour pitch.
What the?
And the Royals will be lucky to keep Martin Maldonado in the game. At some point, the White Sox, who are angry right now, will go into their video room and they will see that the pitch was 86 miles an hour. And even with the history that, and someone's going to tell Tim Anderson eventually that that was an 86-mile-an-hour pitch, not a fastball. And I will guarantee you that part of the plan tonight was not to hit Tim Anderson.
Man, that's tough. You lose your starter. This is his big start.
Check swing, and he went. Uh-oh, he just got ejected, and Cardinals are with a short bench. Uh-oh.
Can't argue the results.
That is strike 3 called, and that one was not a strike. All right, I take it back about the home plate umpire being right most of the time. That one was you could see that. Well, of course, we sit up on the roof, and Bruce Bochy's going to be tossed out of the game.
He's awarding what he's doing. He's awarding the pitchers when they hit that same area. They hit the same spot.
So 3-2. Let's see if he goes at first. He does not. Ground ball. Here's the one they wanted for 2. Ruiz. VR. Not in time, and a run will score. And Brendan Hyde, Orioles skipper, has come out to talk to the crew chief.
Well, just want to make sure, obviously, that there wasn't one of those interference calls out there at second base, sliding illegally. Seems pretty legal, and he's staying on there. Maybe the question or not whether or not he was coming up to take him out when he got over the base.
So they're not going to change the call. All kinds of discussions.
Yeah, I think Brandon's upset about how aggressively he slid over the base
by the second base umpire, and he's gone. Brandon's thrown out. Welcome to the world of those in the clubhouse before the game is over. Brandon Hyde.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. And his argument, there he is, saying what's the point of the rule if the guy can slide over the base and still get into the second baseman?
Hey, you're out of the ball game. Might as well get your say in here, and he does.
Came with a fastball, locked him up. What a location. And Kemp just beside himself. Kemp clearly not agreeing with that strike 3 called pitch, an 88-mile-per-hour fastball. Thought it was low.
Oh, it did look low. I mean, you take the box away, and it's even a better gauge of where that pitch was. The hollow of the knees to the halfway point from the shoulders and the belt. That ball's not a strike.
David Bell is out talking with the home plate umpire right now. Jesse Winker's come into the game. There was a lot of talk after that called third strike, and he said some magic words, and he is gone.
With a tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second, Dodgers looking for that good feeling again. A 3-2. Outside corner for strike 3. Pitchcast had it close to a foot outside, but
2 borderline pitches in this at bat. That one was a ball and got called a strike.
On that strike 3 call of Austin Barnes, this is Russell Martin, who's on the injured list right now. He was thrown out of the game by Jeremy Rayhack.
He's high right here to Rendon. So now you can't have both. I can't cover both as a hitter. So that's where Davey Martinez got involved between innings. And I think that was his main argument. He said those aren't strikes. And Tony Randazzo said that's enough. That's enough. Put his hand up. Davey kept going. He said let's go a few times. That's not a strike. It's not. And then he finally threw him out. And so sticking up for a star player. I think you get a lot of respect from the dugout by doing that. And I like that Davey Martinez showed emotion. I like that he stood up for his player.
Royals tied it. And Maldonado gets right in Anderson's face after Keller drills him with the first pitch. And here we go. Well, it's not the first time, and let me give you a disclaimer. I'm not blaming either side, but this is not the first time Tim Anderson has done that on a home run with the Royals, and the Royals have not appreciated it either time.
No, I mean that was pretty flagrant, especially after he threw the bat and then he yelled something and looked like it was towards Maldonado. I mean, you know, those are things that happen. Alex got one in the ribs early in the game. Hey, maybe that's the payback. And if you're gonna do it, get him below the waist, exactly where he got it. You can't expect to just be flagrant and flaunt like that, you know, and show your opponent up without any repercussions.
And he also rubbed elbows with Maldonado after he touched home plate. I mean,
he crossed the line. There's no doubt.
Guys get caught up in the emotion and they hit a big home run, and I think most players, when they react like Anderson did, will say afterwards, I didn't mean anything toward Keller. Some guys are competing with the pitcher, some guys are competing with the baseball, some guys are competing with who knows what. But it's an emotional game. There's a lot of pressure, but there's a history with that kind of reaction after a home run with the Royals. We saw this the other day when Derek Dietrich homered against Chris Archer and stood at home plate forever.
Get him, Ned. Hey, why not? Yeah, well, Renteria is telling the Royals to get back in the dugout. I mean, you know, you can't do that.
Well, and all his guys are still on the field.
Exactly. What the heck? You know, you yell at guys like that, and when they're all heated, you can't expect Ned to back down on that. And you know, Joe West has seen plenty of these skirmishes in his time. He's right in the middle of all of it. Used to be, you know, you couldn't show the opponent up at all, or you knew it was coming the next time up. And you know, the game's changed and it's evolved over the years. But you know, Anderson's got to be accountable for some of his actions at some time. And I'm not sure that Keller did it on purpose, but you know, especially with Alex getting drilled in the ribs, your best player earlier in the game. And
well, the question just comes up. Is this good for me and my team?
Well, you know,
it's important that I hit a home run, but how important is it for me to do the other things?
Yeah,
and that goes not just for Tim Anderson, but anybody.
Yeah, and same thing for Keller. Yeah, it's tie game here, nobody out. He's a speedy runner. I want to put him on, but you know what? Sometimes in baseball, you know, you take care of it. Sometimes you wait till later, but baseball players have a memory like an elephant. They don't forget everything. Now they're talking about it. I don't think there's any ejections they're talking about here, because I don't think.
Well, they might be. I mean, that's why they're getting together right now. There was not an immediate warning by the home plate umpire Jansen Visconti. There certainly was not an immediate ejection, but the question comes up, and I get back to what happened with the Reds and the Pirates the other day. That was between Chris Archer and Derek Dietrich, but then you had another instigator, Yasiel Puig, who wasn't even involved in the play at all, but he ends up getting thrown out because if the umpires feel like someone is making the situation worse, and they need to be penalized for that.
Well, where Keller hit him was perfect. That's how you do it. If it was up around his head, he might have got ejected, and they're going to throw him out.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it's exactly.
All right, well, that's.
Send him out too. Kick them both out. If they're going to kick one out, you got to kick the other out. Anderson could have taken his base and realized what he did, and just took it and went over to first base.
Well, but
it wasn't near his head.
But Rick Renteria is going to argue, but Anderson did not just take his base.
Right.
I mean, he got to put on a show after hitting a home run.